Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Talkin Wellness. My name is Christian,
My name's Kayla.
And my name's Brendan.
and today we're going to do a pretty standard episode. It's just us three today. We're going to be doing a little bit of a game later on. But before we start the game, this episode is more geared to how do we find our wellness? You know, wellness can be defined in many different ways, so I'm not necessarily going to give it a definition because I think every individual labels wellness in their own way. But instead of giving a general definition, I want to hear from you guys a little bit. What do you guys label wellness as in your own lives?
Mm. So for me, wellness is really just taking care of myself holistically. So it's making sure that I am meeting the needs of my emotional needs, my mental needs, my physical needs, relationships, like just all around what Kayla needs in order to be able to show up and be the best version of myself, or at least work towards that, right? Because I'm not going to show up the same every single day, but at least knowing how I show up and how to continue to stay well enough to show up.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with your definition, especially recently because of some of the things that I've been doing with some of the participants that I work with. I think I've learned to value a lot the word holistic. I tell a lot of my peers when I bring up this word, they're like, a lot of people believe this word is like the guru word, like all the namaste people use, you know, holistic, but it's so much more important than that, right? It's the
Mhm.
idea that every aspect of your life is being worked on, right? My mental health, my emotional slash soul, whatever you want to call it, and my physical, right? You know, and I've also noticed that to go beyond the three parts of who I am, also the parts around me, like what it means to take care of my circle of support,
Mm-hmm.
because my circle of support affects my wellness as well. If my
Mhm.
mom is sick, for example, that's going to affect my wellness. If my best friend is sick, I'm gonna feel very stressed out about that, right? So it's making sure for me, wellness is holistic care for myself and taking care of my relationships, which are important to me.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of those sentiments. I think for me, um, wellness was something that was hard to grasp onto because it is that holistic approach where it's so many different factors. So for me, it was working on what I could at the time because it wasn't always physical and emotional and social and all these other things. It was today I'm going to work on my social aspect. I'm going to go out and do one thing that I can stomach, that I know I can do. So for me, it's these little victories. That's something how I'm able to really monitor like how well I'm doing, and also just know that if I can just do this one thing today, then I can set myself up for the next day, and I can build this foundation to work on. And that's really helped me in the
All
long
right.
run.
So, in talking about wellness, we talk a lot here about wellness tools and how important it is to have. I definitely want to open the question to you guys. Let's do five each. I think that's a fair number.
Mhm.
What's five wellness tools that you
Ooh.
utilize today for your wellness? If you guys want time to think about it, I can start. To give you guys time to think. Number one, and I feel Brendan's also going to say this one, so I'm going to say it now before he steals it. Movies, huge one for me. Like, not I'll go into specifics because I feel he's gonna say something different. But for me, going to the movie theater is a very big wellness tool for me. I tell all my peers that that's something that I and value a lot. Not it could be going with family, going by myself. It doesn't really matter. Going to the movie theater, buying the tub of popcorn, the having the soda,
Mm-hmm.
sitting on the recliner, and then just watching a movie. It's something so valuable. This week alone, I saw two movies on Monday. Like that's how much I love watching movies.
Mhm.
Back to back at a movie theater, and so that's something that I value a lot. Number two, music. Specifically playing music. That's a wellness tool for me. Like I ever once in a while, I'll go walk on a mall with my family, and I stumble upon a guitar center, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in there for a while, and I just start playing the piano for a little bit, or the guitars, or the drums, because I find a lot of uh, uh, wellness and or a calming feeling when I'm doing that. Number three, going on drives. I've said this one before in the podcast. There, we right here in Florida, we have I guess you can call it a highway called A1A. I tend to drive A1A often. Like it's happened in the past when I know my wife works late sometimes. So if I know she's gonna work late and I've already done everything that I need to do, I'll take the long route home and I'll drive up A1A, which is the road right in front of the beach, and I'll just drive it up all the way until I get home. And it helps me a lot, you know, because I'll put music and I'll just like feel the wind, windows down, obviously, and then just that breeze, the smell of the ocean, the music, all that combination. It's just like peace, you know. And then my wife will call me and she'll be like, "Hey, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm driving."
A1A.
A1A, wherever that is.
Awesome.
2 more. Let's see here. Hanging out with friends, a huge one. I value a lot spending time with people. Granted, sometimes I value it a little more than self-care, maybe, but I do value a lot spending time with people, going on adventures. You know, I'll call a friend every once in a while and be like, "Hey, you want to do something?" And we'll do something. You know, Brenda and I, we've hung out to different places. Like we went to the Renaissance Fair together, and that was
Yeah.
such a huge thing for me because it was a really great opportunity for me to just get out of my regular schedule and just do something that's fun. You know, so that's a huge wellness tool for me, hanging out with friends. And number 5, this one's interesting because I've only explored and learned about this one recently. I deeply enjoy going to a restaurant by myself.
That's what. Yeah.
I
love that.
There's some, and it's only been recently because part of my wellness journey involved that I constantly was avoiding self-care by spending time with people. That was part of my recovery journey. And when I started seeking a therapist and I started talking to him about like everything that's going on, one of the things he mentions to me is like, it seems to me that a lot of the things that you do when you hang out with people is you're just ignoring your own health. You know, so see if doing something by yourself. And you know, the thought of doing something by myself was super scary to me because I didn't really like that. And then I started going to like a Starbucks by myself, Chili's by myself.
Little
you know,
triple dip. by
little triple
yourself.
dip right there, right? And there's just something calming to be able to put my
Yeah.
YouTube videos and then just eat food by myself. I value that so much, especially because I work a job that requires me to be with people all the time, you know, which is something I love. But at the same time, when it's to be able to do those things by myself is truly like, yes, I like
That's
doing
great.
it. So those are
Awesome.
my 5 wellness tools. Now I give you guys enough time to think, so you guys
Yes.
should definitely know yours.
Do you want to go first? Or do you,
Sure,
yeah? Okay.
sure. Okay, so
Kayla, you've had 10 plus years to come up with these
yes.
answers.
Okay, so my first and foremost, like favorite wellness tool is spending time with God. I do this by praying. I read the Word. I listen to worship music. I just talk to God, and I, spend time also like sharing or praying for other people. I guess would be something that is really important for me on a day-to-day basis. Is like that time. So no matter like what my day looks like, whether it's rushed in the morning or it's just hectic because I'm on the road at a conference or doing this or whatever, I always make time for that because it just recenters me and it reminds me of all of the things I have to be grateful for and all of the other individuals that have needs that I can bring to God. So that's a huge one. And then my second one is adventure. I am an adventure junkie.
Absolutely.
And I do this with like my family is an adventure junkie too. So it's cool because it is a wellness tool that we have together. And so kind of like what that means is like we're like four-wheelers, race cars, like dirt track, like going out in the woods and doing crazy stuff that people probably wouldn't do. We love hiking. But just anything with it. Even my dog, okay? My dog, when we get home, he literally freaks out to go outside and he runs outside. And if we let him out the gate, he will run to the garage because that's where our side by side is. And every day he wants to ride in the side by side. And so it is like the funniest thing because he's even an adventure person too. So that's a huge one. And then I would say reading, but also just taking in like very like powerful content. Okay, so I'm like all about growth and like growing yourself. And so I'm always looking for books that are going to expand on my knowledge, give me different perspectives, or help me to grow in a certain area that I'm trying to work on in my life. And it actually fuels me, it like feeds my soul. So I love reading. And then I also like listening to podcasts, also like being on podcasts, but I really love listening to podcasts and just different videos. All different types of stuff because I have like my content feeds and typically those are the things that I put on that are going to provide me with like empowerment or they're going to provide me with a reason that I want to step into advocacy to fight for something because I'm all person for justice. Okay, so those are 3. And then my 4th one is community. You know, Christian, you kind of talked about it. Like I love my people, my
Yeah.
tribe of people. And I'm a social person, so I love people in general, and I have a huge community like in different places of where I go. And I just love spending time with people, getting to know people, and even getting to know new people. I think for me, there's like just this beautiful aspect of stepping into people's stories. So I also can like sit down and meet a stranger for the first time in a coffee shop and like spend 2 hours talking to them. So I love it when I'm not in a rush because it allows me to really like stop and smell the roses, so to speak. Okay, and then I think I'm on at what, one more?
You have one more. Yeah.
Laughter.
Yeah.
Oh, do I love to laugh, right?
Yeah.
That is a huge wellness tool. I think, and it was in our previous episode, actually, Brendan's dad talked about how laughter is a huge aspect of his life too and his
Absolutely.
wellness. In any time of my life where I was going through like really just challenging things or whatever, like being able to just spend time laughing with other people or just like laughing at myself or just, being funny is like a
Yeah.
huge aspect of for me medicine,
Yeah.
so.
And you have such an addicting laugh. It's
That's
like
so
when
true.
I
Yeah, you
we
do.
we throw a lot of events here, and Kayla will start laughing. She's either running or laughing. Those are her two traits. There's no in between. It's either running or laughing, and
running while laughing.
Yeah.
or
right.
running while laughing. Clack 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 clack. But it'll happen where we're just talking, and I hear her laugh, and it's hard to even mimic. It's like I can't really
Yeah.
like mimic it, but it's such a great addicting laugh that makes me want to laugh, and I just love your laugh. It's a great laugh.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, good, because I love to laugh, and it would suck if you hated it because
Yeah, you'll hear it a few times in the podcast if you go back. We've definitely had a lot of.
We're gonna do a laugh compilation.
Yeah,
coming
well-
up
oh my
of
gosh,
just all the times that
yeah,
you've laughed.
yeah.
Yeah, Brendan's gonna give us a TikTok reel of all of the laughs that Kayla. What about you, Brendan? What are 5 wellness tools?
It's so hard not to say the ones that you guys have said just because I resonated with it so much. So I'm gonna kind of pick and choose and maybe add a few new ones. But
That's fine.
to start off, a lot of them have to do with like entertainment and just things that I can use to like distract myself after having a long day, or just things I like to do, in my off time. So movies, huge TV shows, usually the ones that are coming out, but I love to watch old ones. I just finished Twin Peaks. Shout out R.I.P. David Lynch. But
Rest in peace.
yeah, so little things like that. Like I really enjoy. I'm gonna kind of encapsulate it all in one, but like I love watching like history documentaries or learning about different aspects of history. That's kind of one of my bread and butter. There is just gaining more knowledge on that. To go into the next one is something that I do all those things alongside, which is my cat Lily. If I'm watching something, she's sitting right next to me. So
Yeah.
where Christian likes to go to the movie theater, I like to just sit down on my couch
Yeah.
or lay down in bed and have my cat cuddle me while I watch something.
Yeah, that's why I specified movie theater. Because I had a
Exactly.
feeling you were gonna say that one.
Yeah, there's something about being home and like being in your own environment that's different, and that kind of goes into my next one, which is I also really enjoy going places alone, and it's something I didn't realize it was so impactful for me until recently. But going to restaurants, like trying new things, I love experiencing different cultures, and if it's something that I'm learning about,
Yep.
historically, I like to go out and try something, or just go to the movies if I do by myself or with
Yeah.
you or with anybody that wants to go. But a lot of the time, it's by myself. So, and then I'd say, what am I on? This is 4 now. Hiking. I love a side by
Nice.
side, but there's something about just good old, foot on a path somewhere. When I was living in Georgia, I would go very frequently, and there was, I know that's where you are, sometimes, and so
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Georgia right now.
she's in
This
Georgia
is
right
a-
now.
This is a
It's a hologram.
hologram.
No, no, it's something that I've always really loved, and it's tough doing in Florida because there's not much of it. But the hiking, just going out, I go to the beach a lot now here.
Yeah.
And there's a few places that you can
Shout out
you
Wolf
can
Lake
go.
Park.
Shout out Wolf Lake.
I know it was like
One
the
of-
only place
one
that
of
I
the
went
only
to
ones
that I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find a freaking like tree tall, like
Yeah.
somewhere that doesn't just have palm trees, And when I went
Yeah.
to Wolf Lake Park, I was like, wow. So I would go
Mhm.
there and just like adventure until like I had adventured it out. I haven't been in a while, but
Yeah, exactly. I used to go there a lot, in high school and when I was in college too. It's just a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
it's one of the only little
Different,
spots that
yeah.
we have that looks nothing like Florida.
yeah.
And there's cows. Like it's great. There's a few other parks like down by the beach. You know, there's Ann Cold Nature Center and a few Westlake Park that are really nice to walk around. But you can't beat just going down to the beach, feet in the sand, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then my fifth one is, the community aspect, like my support system. I like I said, we had my dad on the last episode, and one of the things that since I've moved back home, I've found us doing a lot is just watching, a lot of the sporting events that are on. We'll all just sit down and watch and sometimes yell in tandem, but it's huge, and it's something that really brings me a lot of joy to just sit down and talk to them about their days, about my days, and see like what's going on. It's different going room to room and checking on people. It's just we're all in this communal space. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I brought a game, because when preparing for this episode, I thought, well, we can talk about wellness and our wellness tools, but I want to play a game with you guys. So I did a little bit of digging on the internet, and I found that, especially on TikTok, which is kind of surprising, kind of not, there's a lot of trends of what people tend to do for their wellness. Some things are out there. It's like, well, I don't necessarily know that's for wellness, especially if it's putting some sort of substance in something. But okay, interesting. And I wanted to kind of have a chat with you guys about some of these ones. Now, but this is the game. I'm calling it Wellness or Wack, because some of these are real wellness tools that people utilize, and some of these that I wrote down are completely fake and not real. Okay.
Okay.
And I want to read them off for you because, I made a list of 25. I don't know. We normally make 30-minute episodes, so we'll see how many of these I ask.
All right.
We'll start with this one. Okay. Drinking chlorophyll drops to purify your blood. Drinking chlorophyll drops to purify your blood. Is that wellness or is that whack? Is that real or fake?
Since it's so out of left field, I'm gonna say wellness because I don't know.
Okay. What do you think, Kayla? Is it real or is it fake?
Well, Siri, will chlorophyll kill me?
Wow.
Maybe in large amounts.
Chlorophyll. Okay, so this one's real. In 2021, TikTok exploded with influencers adding chlorophyll drops to water, claiming it cleanses blood, clears acne, and boosts energy. One user with millions of views swore it cured their body odor, though doctors said it was mostly a placebo.
Oh.
So there you go.
There we go. So you will
Very
not
interesting.
die.
It works for you, man.
Whatever works for you, right? Walking backwards for 10 minutes a day to reverse depression.
Okay, that's whack. I'm sorry. I think that one might be whack.
Yeah, I think that one's whack.
You guys are right. That's completely fake. I made that one up.
Okay.
I just think it's really funny.
It's like the Superman effect. If you spin around the earth fast enough, it'll reverse everything.
Screaming into a jar and stealing it to trap the rage. And sealing it to trap the rage.
Ooh, that's wellness.
I could see that as being, just
for
getting
sure.
that out. I don't know about how well it traps it, but
yeah. So, I made this one up. However, I do see you guys' point. This is a really great one.
I mean, think about it, right? Like in a moment where I may have all this built up angst, if I in my mind think, okay, let me get it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
trap
just
it in a jar.
put it in a jar. Yep. I mean, mentally it might work.
It might work. Here's the next one: sniffing cow manure for immune support.
Shout out to Wolf Lake Park.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that you
Sniffing
can
cow
eat
poop.
the mushrooms off of cow manure and have a trip.
Really?
I don't know about sniffing poop.
Kayla's had a wild life, guys.
You guys never picked mushrooms out of cow manure?
No.
Maybe someone else has for me.
I grew up in City Life, LA, California, so no, I didn't really have that experience.
I'm gonna say, whack.
Yeah, that's pretty whack. I don't want to smell cow manure.
Even if it is real, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's fake. I totally made it up.
Okay.
I totally made that one up. Great job, guys. Here we go.
We're doing good.
Moon bathing. Lying under moonlight to absorb lunar energy.
Okay, so that's whack, but I'm sure some people do things like that.
Yeah, I mean, with the not inception, but astrology, I think that some people might be seeing it as like charging themselves in a way. So I'm gonna
Like
say
they're
that's,
the crystal.
yeah, or maybe they have a crystal on them and
Yeah.
they're like I'm gonna
They're
say
the-
wellness.
They're the okay. Well, it is wellness. Yeah,
Oh,
Gwyneth
okay.
Paltrow's Goop site promoted
never-
moon rituals, including moon bathing, to align your menstrual cycle and
Gwyneth
charge your
Paltrow.
feminine energy.
Wow.
Okay.
Many spiritual influencers now recommend lying under the full moon as part of lunar wellness.
Is that like the Mars is in retrograde or Venus or
Yeah,
whatever?
sure.
It's usually Mercury.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Thanks, Brennan.
the little I know
No,
about
but don't
it.
you? I think it's so funny because like there will be like something chaotic happening, and then like you just hear like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, Mercury's in retrograde.
It's
or
an-
like-
Yes. Is there a full moon today?
And it's like no, but it
no, you just decided
just had a bad
that
day.
you were.
it's kind of like the horoscope thing where it's like, did you check your horoscope? That's probably why
Yeah.
all these terrible things are
Then
happening.
that's
to you.
probably
And
why
hey,
you fell down the stairs. It's because Venus and all that.
It says you're gonna experience a fall soon.
Yeah, that's wild. It says you're gonna trim your beard on May 27th. That's
God.
crazy.
It says to trim your beard on May
No,
20th.
I'm just saying. If
Oh,
it is-
okay.
Yeah,
I think I did do that.
I was
So
about
that-
to
yeah.
say,
That's
yeah.
wellness.
it hasn't
not
even
wellness.
happened yet.
May 27th.
Today's the
you're right.
That's next
23rd,
week.
buddy.
I plan to shave mine.
You should.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting.
What
Been
if I- if
saving
it- well,
a change for the podcast?
At what point does it become like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing?
That's my.
if I
That
were
was
to
the
do
joke.
it? Okay.
That was the joke. All right, here we go. Next one. Placing onions in your socks while you sleep to pull out toxins.
Wellness.
I've heard of this wellness.
Wellness.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
A viral Facebook chain message encouraged people to sleep with onions in their socks to draw out toxins
Right.
and heal colds.
I do it every night. I'm just kidding.
That's
but-
actually really funny that you say that. Here we go. Oh man, I wrote some.
Will
really
it actually
weird
pull out
ones.
toxic traits?
Or toxic.
I don't. I
like-
doubt it.
Maybe it's toxins.
Yeah,
I don't
toxins.
know, like-
Yeah, you let them in. Here we go. Eating dirt from your backyard to reconnect with nature.
Okay, whack. I mean, I would sit in dirt. I don't know that I would eat it.
I think, and this is from I've heard from certain people with I don't know if it's POTS or PICOS that they like sort of crave dirt.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna say, just to be contrarian, I'm gonna say wellness.
Yeah. Well, it's fake. I made it
Okay.
up.
Brendan eats dirt.
Yeah, Brendan eats
the
dirt,
dirt
for
away.
fun. This one. Here we go.
Brendan eats dirt.
Paying money to hit a printer with a bat.
Hit a printer? Ooh,
Yeah.
that's wellness.
That sounds like a rage room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It people often and rage rooms are expensive. I looked it up. Rage rooms can like vary. Like I saw ones like the cheapest one I could find in our area was around like $45. Like that's a pretty hefty price
Hey, I
to
know a
bash
guy
a
with a
printer.
bat and a printer that
That's
can
what
get
I'm
you
saying.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
once this printer over here gets old, give us bats.
Well,
That's wellness.
You don't have to pay. I have a few ex-boyfriends. You guys can. No, I'm just kidding.
And with that said, we're gonna
Wellness.
do that next episode live. Wellness. Getting a goat to scream at your emotional release therapy.
Okay, a goat to scream at.
As your emotional release therapy.
Getting a goat to scream. So you have to do something to make the goat scream. That's whack.
Yeah, getting a goat to scream at you as emotional release therapy.
I feel like anybody screaming at me would just
Not
not,
help
do
me.
well. But that's me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say whack.
Yeah, I made that up. Absolutely, yeah. Although I was watching Thor with the screaming goats, and I just thought it's really funny. Yeah,
They have like
you know.
goat therapy where they
Yes.
just like step all over you.
Well,
and
that's
stuff,
different.
and that-
Like goats
yeah.
actually like you pay able to pet them and then stepping on your back. That's
yeah,
different.
that sounds
I
cool.
had
That's real
I had a
therapy.
goat pet goat.
You had a pet
What?
goat?
Yeah, I had a bunch of goats.
The
Really?
random
Yeah.
lore drop.
Where?
I
That's
know, right?
crazy.
My
What?
dad actually took better care of the goats than his children. Yeah. Yeah. They had like a
I'm learning a lot about
Yeah,
Georgia in
yeah,
this
it's-
episode. In this,
it's pretty
in this
crazy.
series.
they had like this their own little like 2-story like house.
Wow.
Yeah.
The goat wasn't in the house.
Oh, we had a goat in the house.
Oh, in the house.
Yeah, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Without yeah. So actually I was goat burned down the house at one point. Yeah. Not my dad's
What?
house, a different house. Yeah.
That's really cool. Brendan, did you ever have a goat in Georgia?
No, I don't think
You
I
take
can
it to
relate
set
to
to
that
record
experience.
your movies and shows and whatever?
No.
No, that sucks.
No.
Maybe you should take a
There was one time where I was working on a Netflix production where they had to clear a bunch of like brush. And so instead of just like getting a bulldozer in there and clearing out, for like 2 or 3 weeks, they just let goats just go crazy.
See,
on
Netflix
it.
has too much money. Netflix has too much money. They need to stop.
Wow.
And then
What
they
is this,
and then
Netflix?
and then there was also just like a dog that sat there to
Nice.
like watch over them. It was actually really cool. Like
Over the goats?
over the
They
goats.
must have asked my dad to borrow his goats. My dad also has a dog that watches over his
No
goats.
way.
I
Is it a
swear.
white dog?
It's a black dog.
Okay.
His name is
different
Diesel.
dog.
They dyed it for the
Different dog.
movie because Netflix, you know.
The goat.
This one, it's interesting. Well, I won't reveal it until after. Submerging your head in a bowl of ice water every morning to reduce
Wellness.
anxiety.
Wellness.
Wellness.
Yes.
I've done it.
There's that
It's
guy
great.
on TikTok that does that.
That's exactly. When I
Sparkling
wrote this,
water.
I was thinking about the guy on TikTok. This is a real thing. A lot of beauty influencers talk about this. Dunking your face in ice water in the morning helps reduce stress in the morning, and I believe it helps like if you're
Your
a person,
skin too.
your skin.
Mhm,
Thank you.
Yeah.
It'll
yeah.
wake you up pretty good too.
Oh,
I
it
bet.
will.
And
yeah.
a great wake her up.
Well,
wake her
it
up.
like shocks your system. So like you say whatever you're feeling in that moment, it will like kind of like shock you almost like out
That's
of
really
it.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I know they talk about that when people are having panic attacks.
Yeah.
They say to submerge some body part in
Because it like
ice cold water.
pulls you out because you're
If
like.
I'm having a panic attack and somebody does the ice bucket challenge with me, I'm throwing hands.
Can
Like,
I throw the bucket
but
at
then
you?
you'll probably not be in a panic
true.
because you're
No,
throwing hands,
that's
right?
so
So you're
true.
out of your panic
That
attack.
is true.
So
Wellness, not
yeah.
whack.
All right, next. Yeah, next time I'm throwing the bucket out the water and see how you respond.
Just the bucket.
Just the bucket because I want to. Next one: hugging trees for at least 10 minutes a day
Wellness.
for
Oh,
heart health.
yes. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know if it's like my actual heart, but my heart will definitely feel better if I hug a tree.
Okay.
What do you mean, Brandon? What do you think?
I think that if it works for you, it works for you.
Did I make? Well, here's the real question: did I make it up, or is it
You
a
made it
real
up.
wellness
I
tool?
think you made that up.
It's 100% real. In Iceland during COVID lockdowns, forest officials encouraged citizens to hug trees since human contact was limited. The Forest Service said it boosts mood and reduces loneliness,
Because they're alive.
and it was featured
Yeah.
in
Makes sense.
NPR and
Yeah.
BBC reports.
In my
Wow.
adventures that I do, because I like to travel and hike and do things, you can always find a picture of me hugging a tree, like
Aw.
in different places. Yeah.
That's a cool tradition. You
Yeah.
imagine, like, I go to like what's that big forest in the West Coast? Where the geysers are.
Redwood? Or no? Oh, you're talking about Yellowstone.
Yeah, Yellowstone.
Oh,
You
yeah.
imagine hugging Yellowstone like trees, those huge like
Those
Yeah.
big
freaking,
trees.
Ugh, they're bigger
Ooh.
than buildings. Some of them.
I could see it.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I'm gonna try that one. And if I get splinters in the next episode, you know what happened.
Full body cast.
Oh, here we go. Wearing color coded socks based on your chakras.
My personal opinion, whack.
Okay, but is it a real trend or is
That's
it
a real
something I
trend,
made
I'm
up?
sure.
I think that there might be something there.
I made it up completely. That's complete. I wrote that. Yeah. Sniffing a lemon every hour to reset your nervous system.
Ooh, that sounds like wellness.
I just don't know where I'm always around a lemon. Like to be able to just be sniffing
That's
it.
true. Maybe you have to bring them from home.
I'm gonna say whack.
Yeah, I made that one up as well.
Okay.
It was like essential oils, but like the
Right,
real
yeah.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
No. Essential oils are dope. We have some over here in our room. What's it called again? Our
Biosound?
Biosound. And let me tell you, I'll put that on my wrist and then I'll
Oh, that
just
stuff's
all
great,
day
Yeah.
just smelling it.
So
It's
the
really
lemon
nice.
thing could be, you may be onto something.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
maybe. Yeah, try it out.
Not
Maybe
a
it works for
standardized
you.
practice yet, but
We're gonna do a few more here. Eating one raw garlic clove every day to scare away the sadness.
Ooh, I don't know if it'll scare away sadness, but it definitely will help with viruses.
and it'll scare away people, I'm sure too, to an extent.
Oh yeah, and
vampires.
vampires.
And
Yeah, which
vampires.
is more important.
Well, in the merry month of no, I'm sorry.
I think-
That's for all my Sinners fans
I
out
think
there.
since you broke into like a little jig, I'm gonna say whack. because because
Yeah, I made that one up.
Okay.
I may or may not have been thinking of Sinners when I wrote that one. So
Okay.
there we go. Next one. Using a tuning fork on your forehead to clear negative thoughts. Is that a trend or did I make it up?
A tuning fork.
So
I've
yeah,
seen-
so
yeah, it's like
this
a
little it's a metal stick and it's cut. It's not cut, but it has like it's like a V or U shape,
Mhm.
and then you hold it from the bottom and you hit it with another stick, and it's like. Dong!
Whack.
I think it's wellness because I've heard of it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Sound healers are use tuning forks placed on the
Like
body
a frequency
and around the
thing,
head to clear energy blockage. It's especially popular in holistic spas. There's that word. And was featured in 2019 New York Times piece on sound bath trends in LA and NYC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a tuning. What is it called? Fork.
tuning fork.
Yeah.
Before everyone comes in for work, I'm gonna
Yeah.
clack, 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 clack.
Yeah.
Negative energy. No, just
It'll just
That'll be
Cleanse
That'll be
everybody.
great. That'll be great. All right, we're gonna do 2 more.
Okay.
To kind of finish off. Here we go. I want to read this one. This is good.
it's because he made it up.
gosh, yeah,
getting
right.
getting slapped in the face by a Thai masseuse to relieve stress.
Ooh,
Getting slapped in the face by a Thai masseuse
that's
to
whack.
relieve
I'm
stress.
sorry. I don't know. That has to be.
Do they have to be Thai?
Well, I wrote it.
I
That's
just don't
what I
think
wrote.
Slapped in the face, like slap me on the back, on the foot.
Yeah.
You know.
But
I'm
for this specific one
I'm
that
thinking-
that I have written here, Thai face person slapping in the
Right.
face.
Thai, yeah. I think in the spirit of dunking your face in like ice water, I think
that is completely
I
different.
think it'll just like So I'm gonna say wellness.
In Bangkok and San Francisco, spas have offered face slapping therapy for beauty and stress.
I don't know.
relief.
That sounds more like one of those weird fetishes.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
One woman in San Francisco paid $350 per session and said it helped reduce jaw tension because her jaw is unhooked and made her skin glow.
glow red.
Well, red, yeah.
I guess,
From
yeah.
the blood vessels that are.
Yeah. Right.
All right, last one.
Hey man,
Here we go. Let's see if you guys can get this one. Booking a professional cuddler to lower cortisol levels.
Oh, that's wellness. Even though that sounds extremely weird to like book somebody as a professional cuddler, cuddling and connection actually does improve your dopamine.
yeah.
But is it a real trend or did I make it up?
I've heard of
Ooh,
it.
yeah.
I've heard of it in Japan.
Wow.
You can there's like different like cafes or something where you can go and pay someone to cuddle, and it's strictly
Yeah, I just started an LLC last week.
You did?
Yes.
What?
We come cuddle.
Really? Is that the name of the brand?
What is going on?
We WCC. We come cuddle.
We come cuddle. I mean,
Yes, it's real. Websites like Cuddlist and the Snuggle Buddies let you book trained
trained, yeah.
cuddle therapists for, check this, $80 to $150 an hour. It's marketed for stress relief, trauma healing, or touch deprivation.
That's I was gonna say
NPR
the touch deprivation.
profiled clients who said it helped with PTSD and grief after loss, which makes sense because like there's something energetic about a hug.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, those are that's the game. Those
But
are a
that's
few wellness tools.
That's kind of wild though that you have to like pay $100 an hour
That's my thing.
to like have a hug.
Like
Well,
how
yeah.
is that not taking advantage of people who are suffering?
Well,
Right.
here's the thing that I think happens, especially in Japan, like where I've heard of it, is that it can be sort of a isolationist sort of part of the society that kind of makes it so that people don't have that camaraderie, and they might not, like they might be touch starved or touch deprivation. So just even having that service offered is some sort of respite for them in that, and then maybe they shouldn't charge as much. But they don't even just do that there. They like clean your ears at this place. Like they do all this. Like it's strictly non-sexual, but they do.
No, yeah, it's not. When I saw, was it My Strange Addiction? I forgot. It was one of those like weird documentary like that kind of shows, and they were talking about this, and one of the things that they were talking about is that this guy who does it, he feels proud about it because he like people tend to cry on his shoulder like all the time in the middle of a hug, and I think it's cool. My problem with it is charging people that amount of money for it. Like, you're really gonna charge someone who's like that heartbroken
and I'd have to see,
$150 an hour?
Yeah, like what that entails.
That's for me is
because
the
I definitely
issue.
think it's therapeutic too. Like I've been in group therapy where we like had different types of experiences, and like touch and hugging and like those types of things ended up being like a part of this therapy session or like a therapeutic thing. And it came from like us individuals that were in the group therapy together but to like pay to go to, I don't know. I guess I'd have to know more about like what specifically they're doing, you know?
Right.
Join us for next week's episode when we bring in an actual person from the Cuddlist, and then we'll do an interview
From her
with
new
them.
LLC.
Yeah.
From your
right.
WCC. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this kind of a different episode where we don't have any guests. It's just us three chilling and talking about wellness. Let us know in the comments what are some of the wellness tools that you have seen that help you in your wellness journeys. Obviously, we're not making fun of anything here. We respect people in their wellness journeys. We here at South Florida Wellness Network, we believe that there's multiple pathways to recovery, and the same thing goes for wellness. There's multiple things that you can do for your wellness. You know, all that we ask is that it's actually good for your health, okay? Make sure that we're careful and not doing stuff that actually hurts our health, like getting slapped in the face. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. And for our audio listeners, we see you, we love you. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to give us 5 stars if you can. I didn't mess up once. Every single time I do this, I mess up, and I didn't mess up this time. I just need to stop and acknowledge that. Thank you for watching. We will see you all next week for the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.